Let's hit the ground running very quickly. So we're introducing 2D animation, but then of course we are here because of 3D animation. But you see the thing is, since I said I was trying to teach an elite squad of people that are good in animation, it's going to be 2D and 3D. It's going to be 2D and 3D. So when I mean 2D, of course, with 2D, I'm not like you need to know how to draw. You might need the knowledge of drawing and all that. That one day. But then you don't, unlike 3D that you don't even need to know how to draw at all. For 2D, you need the knowledge, but then you don't need to be a guru. Meaning you can train yourself on how to draw. So I have somebody on WhatsApp that's been like, okay, he wants to learn 2D, he wants to learn 2D. One of my niece too, she's like, please, Uncle Dami, can you fix me your classes? And now I'm like, okay, it's 3D that's actually the um teaching, right? But you remember the principle of animation started with 2D. The video I sent to you, animation started with two-dimensional. It was never 3D. It was first 2D. That was the first original animations, all the years on board, Disney, Mickey Mouse, everything. That's how it really started. DC to had their own kind of very old ones, Warner Bros. Brothers, you know. And then so on the side, after they drop comics, they are actually dropping animated series and cartoons. So Warner Bros. Disney back in the day, that's what was. So 3D was just going in new. One of the first 3D that really like broke the market and found its way to box office and all was Toy Story. The first Toy Story was the first original like conquering of 3D. So there've been other 3Ds too though, but that was um that was the first like very nice great one with a lot of effort and then but if you want to learn animation, trust me, most people if you want to go and check it's still 2D they'll tell you. So you see all those keyframes you were arranging in your keyframe in your timeline. In 2D animation, what they do is the drawing of the different poses in your timeline. If you understand what I'm trying to say. So for 3D, you have a character sitting down and the left hand controller is supposed to pick a cup. So at one point at keyframe 10, you're like the hand is down. At keyframe 15, you took it up, then at 15, 22 is holding the cup. You see that time, there are like 3 or 4 keyframes now with what I just mentioned. Now, if you drag your timeline, this thing, like to remove from the first one, you see the hand gradually move. It moving is called interpolation. So Blender is calculating the shortest distance between your last keyframe and not the last keyframe because it is calculating the shortest distance between the last orientation of the object, meaning if the hand was down when it went up, whether it rotated, whether it scaled, it got big or got smaller, or whether it moved. So that's what Blender is going to be trying to calculate. That's what they call interpolation. That's why if you don't even get it right, when you start to do a lot of character animations, when you move, if you move your hand controller, maybe and you're using like IK, you put 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and if you move the hand and you don't move it well, maybe you twist it and bring it back. In the animation, it will interpolate the hand turning 360, which is impossible. There are a lot of reasons why you need to know how to play your way into interpolation. So um so basically we're not going to be dwelling much on 2D because it's not, but then you need the knowledge. It's something that you can actually it's actually it's a win-win for you. And remember I said I'm trying to niche down group of people that are really good. So for even 2D animations now these days, they still have 3D, they have a lot of 3D artists in them, maybe for the background. So you understanding how 2D works will still help you to increase your skill set, which is very important. So the last this thing we did was animation, and you know how we really stayed here for a long time. we stayed in week three for a very long time because we needed everybody to, after teaching you the whole of the like animation took like 2 3 classes, so I needed pure like coming in. That's why all the other classes were to, because bootcamp could have actually ended even last week, but the assignments, I needed time for people to do the assignments. So I was like, bring in your questions, bring in your problems. Last week, people started posting problems. Now I'm not hearing any problem again. If I'm not hearing any problem, it means you're not trying new things. And I'm still saying it again, no matter, even if you're in stage one, post your stage one because, you know, at some point, everybody thinks it's a competition. It's not really a competition. But me, I'm looking out for people that are participating the most. You understand? But then don't forget the reason why you're here. You're here to learn the skill of 3D modeling and animation. So that shouldn't stop you from maybe looking at someone at your left or right. Someone might be very good at someone might be very good at modeling and then might not be so good at animation. Some might be very good at modeling and animation but might not be good at texturing. Some might be good at modeling, animation, texturing, some might not be good at lighting. I'll not lie, me that I'm even doing all, it's not possible that I can beat most people that are niche down to one specific this thing because me now, like as I'm like if I create a scene now, bring in this, bring in that, apply texture and all the time I'm supposed to use to concentrate on the fluidity of maybe the animation or the light and everything. It I have divided attention, but of course general knowledge is not bad. So it's a decision that you now while you're learning this you have to make. And there's going to be a YouTube series of that every Blender user started from. And I'm going to share the link. And that one is like another class, but it's what most Blender users start with. It's just that guy is always upgrading his distance. So normally I would have said, guys, I need the donut animation, but I know why I've not asked for the donut animation throughout the whole series. So even when the bootcamp is over, it's just dedicated people that I'm looking for, people that are serious because you know how it is like everybody wants to act like as if they are serious, but it's not everybody that's serious, and it's not their fault, and you don't have to blame them. Normally, it's how life is. Some people just like the idea of how some things sound like wow. Imagine I'm a video editor, wow, and video editors now are making millions of naira. They are doing music videos, they are doing cinematography, they are making a lot of money, and now content is the A game of this generation, of making money and trying to blend it with AI. So they like the sound of that. But then when it's time to put down the work, it's always difficult. Please let's not be like that. Let's try to put in the work. It's not easy. Even me too, I'm trying to talk to myself. So even if I have 2 projects and I'm teaching, it doesn't stop me from still learning more, you know. But I'm kind of worried because it's been like maybe 2 months now since I went to YouTube to check anything. But then, of course, Blender will still disturb you with one thing, and you have to like just go back for some kind of test, maybe to refresh your memory. Rewatch the videos again. I'm even thinking that me, I'll go and rewatch my own videos because I think those videos were so good. Like I didn't know that they were that good. So one day I decided to watch one of them on YouTube. I was like, ah, ah. So I was able to pass all these messages under this amount of time. It's a lot, meaning that you can watch that video 8 times. I'm telling you, because you can watch it and perfect it and do it with your blender. So even me, I can actually learn from the I can learn from the video surprisingly. So I don't even know. It's seeming like as if maybe I'm also teaching myself. I don't know. Imagine you're standing in front of a mirror and you have your phone and you put on camera mode to video yourself. It's going to be an endless loop. So if you look into the mirror, if you look at your reflection and the phone camera, you will just see an endless loop. Like the camera is going to be showing the mirror is going to show the camera like that, like that, like that. I think to infinity. So maybe who knows, maybe that's how knowledge is. That's why you can actually keep learning. I think that's why learning doesn't end. Learning doesn't end. So there's stuff I've forgotten self to about. Some I brought in principles of cinema 4D. That's why this knowledge is really good. So please let's try putting more effort and then just put in more effort, try to be um proactive, try to learn more. And if not of this hackathon that is really disturbing Superteam, but hackathon will end. I think it's today. I don't know. Is it ending today? Because I know a lot of people had a lot of pitch deck last week, and I was also there. That's why it was noisy, kind of. But submission of hackathon project, I think it's going to end today. I think so. There's no excuse again. Tomorrow, today, tomorrow is the same thing. It's the same thing. Because if it's tomorrow, I'm sure it's by noon, by 12. Esther, is it by 12? Should be by 12. I know most times most of their submissions, 12, 1. Do you know the time? You see? So I was close. Me, I know now. Oh, it's like the whole day. Oh, oh my goodness. But anyhow, so after the Tuesday, there's no more excuse again. Oh. So you can say I'm not talking about my weapon. I'm expecting my weapon on Friday. We're ending this bootcamp on Friday, guys. So please let's just try. Even if you don't get picked among the people that have been active the most, that one is you getting picked. This is you working for your money. You are trying to invest in yourself, don't forget. And the skills is the most important thing. It's not whatever money anybody's going to get. The money you get from what you have produced, you is the best that can ever happen to you. You understand? So please let's just put in more effort, and uh, holiday. There's no holiday. Oh. We don't go for holidays now. We die here. We open blender by 1 a.m., 2 a.m. We don't we keep attacking, we keep pushing ourselves to learn. Yes, it's very important. So for revision, we spoke about keyframes, we spoke about how to handle keyframes. I was teaching a part of I taught shape keys. Please go to my last class. Hope you don't miss that one. That one's a very important one. You see that one is the easiest way to read characters. These are very easy things. This is not even normal facial character rig with amateur. Very easy. You just need to make sure you are spot on. So today is your birthday. Hey, reaction for her. Oh, today is her birthday. Oh. Please, reaction. Happy birthday. Oh. Before the end of our class, please remind us so we can sing happy birthday to you. Oh. But we must learn. We must learn. We will still move on. Yes, we will move on. We will not stop. In fact, that's what will make us push harder. Uh, that's the kind of person I am. So, but then once again, happy birthday, and it's nice to celebrate another 365 days on this planet Earth. That's better. So animate happy birthday for. I'm dropping the attendance, please. At least now if we're halfway into the distance so that everybody can see it. So now, Feromi, your birthday now, like you can do display happy birthday because now you're a 3D artist, So you do happy birthday, let your H be spinning, let your A be moving up and down. Let your the double P, let it disappear and appear. You can use all those modifiers to make it appear. Please, I know I said play with those modifiers. Nobody did. Oh. Modifiers are very important. Modifiers, they can carry your design from 0 to 7 or 8. Is now. Why now? You should have sent me a DM. So, introduction. We are here, guys. Yeah, we'll talk about it after class. Don't worry. So, introduction. Grease pencil is a particular type of Blender object that allows you to draw in the 3D space. So now we can use it to do traditional 2D animation. Please, who knows what traditional 2D animation is? I've said it here before. Please just quickly drop in the chat box if you know what traditional 2D animation is. Very quickly. Still waiting. My wonderful people, please let's try. Traditional 2D animation is different from normal 2D animation. Like this vector animation is traditional, hand drawn, stick man. Esther, you can steal idea. Oh. This Esther, I don't know. I'm scared of you. Hey, which one be stickman? What is stickman? So stickman animation now is a type of animation. Okay, oh. We are bringing in new style to this our career path that all of us decide to follow like this. But hand drawn, well, Emmanuel, you tried, but you are very close. But then, nah, you know why? Because vector animation, eh, were still drawn before they were animated. Stop motion. You tried, but no. Animating 2D drawing. Animating 2D drawing is 2D animation, Mr. Ehisi, whether vector, whether traditional, whether normal, is all animating 2D drawing. So you're trying to give a broad answer. That was a very smart way, but I no allow, I no gree. So for 2D animation, so when they say traditional, it means frame by frame. If you check one of my posts on X that I posted 2 weeks ago about how somebody was trying to dodge a knife, like I showed, I don't know how many of you, if you saw it, please just maybe like just indicate in the chat box, right? So I showed gradually how I drew the first one rough and I moved different frames and I kept drawing. I went back to that first one and I redrew on top that one and draw, got to the end and went back again and did the polishing finally of one knife that was coming to somebody. And the person raised his hand. Just normal 2D animation, flat, no color, nothing. I don't know if anybody saw that. In fact, just with that video, somebody can know the principle of 2D animation. That's all. Like you don't even need much. Actually easy though. Like there's nothing to actually even teach here. To me, there's not much to teach here. So traditional is frame by frame. When they say traditional, they mean frame by frame. When they mean vector animation, what kind of style? I'm thinking of example I'll give now. First, for you see Dexter, all those cartoons back in the day, but then those ones were frame by frame. But some instances they were not actual frame by frame. They actually moved. So if you check that if you check my post, when I drew the knife, I animated the knife. I didn't redraw the knife's different pose. Why? Because the knife has a definite shape. Since the knife is not going to break into two, it's not going to bend, there's no need for me to redraw the knife. I don't know if I'm trying to pass a message. If I need a character sitting down trying to drink water, I will need to redraw that character taking that water. I might actually draw one pose of the character without any hands, sitting down with head erect and take a different layer and pick and draw the hand so that when I'm moving to the next frame, I can keep the old drawing of the body sitting down and animate just and redraw only the hand to pick the cup. You see how there are different ideas. So there are different ways that you want to do it, but vector animation is mostly drawing, animating your drawing, either animating your drawing or your vector. You know what vector is like? SVG files, like if you graphic people, like now, you see this thing that you're seeing here now. This is grease pencil. It was drawn, but it's a 2D flat image. There's nothing 3D about this. Now you can decide that you don't want to redraw this and put a bone here. I hope you can see where my mouse is. You see where this head is from the neck? You can put a bone here and animate only this head. Now that's not traditional animation again. That's like vector animation, like 2D normal animation. Do you understand? So yeah. So now they are saying that it can be used for traditional 2D cutout animation, motion graphics, or used as storyboard tool among other things. Who knows what storyboarding is, please? Very quickly, very quickly. These are terms that you must know. Very quickly, very quickly, very quickly, very quickly, very quickly, very quickly, very quickly. Eh? You people went to Google and you're still slow. Hey, Chineke me. I know that some went to Google to browse this thing. Eh? At least drop the answer now. Eh? At least copy and paste since you are trying to. Hey, Chineke me God. Well, we don't have much time. But you see those animations that look like someone is drawing on the board. To be over, you are trying to. Your answer is valid, but 20 over 100. 20 over 100. I'm asking what's the meaning of storyboarding when they say storyboarding. You see when they said, and you can be used as storyboard tool among other things, see it under there. So, yes, I'm waiting. Okay, let's just move on. So now, when you see a movie, movies are mostly broken down into stages. You understand? So now, when you take out a movie or a short ad or a short video or anything, they are broken into maybe plots, scenes, and all. Now, those plots and scenes can be represented with simple drawings. I'm going to show you an example very quickly, though. But they can be represented with simple drawings. So, and most of them, like maybe you can do scene one, somebody's running, then scene two, someone tries to attack the runner, and scene three, he tries to beat the attacker. But then, most of the time, storyboarding. So, storyboarding is paneling out your soon to be animation. Do you understand? It's like a visual representation of each stage your animation is going to go through. They do storyboarding even for movies, not just this thing. Like now, for someone like me now, if I say I want to come up with a story, if I want to come up with a story, even if it's going to be for a movie, the best I can do is actually even because since me, I kind of drew comics back in the day. I was not good though, like it's not like I see I was good and oh no. When I was in secondary school, like years back, um, the best way to bring out every story that was in my head was by it was not storyboarding, it was actually comics. But comic is a style of it's almost storyboarding, right? Because you can see dialogue boxes, and if you go to the next panel, you can see maybe where the person is falling, like different stages of the story, right? It's just that comics are more detailed. That's the difference between a storyboarding and actual comics. If you get what I'm trying to say. So it's just basically the major stage in the animation that you're trying to do. Normal. So yeah, I didn't even know that I was going to take a while explaining all this ones, but it's very important you guys know this because as 3D people, you can even be on your maybe you are working for Superteam. Normally, you're a dev person or you're a designer. You're just working, but then you're checking to your Twitter and you see a particular 2D animation company, and they're like, okay, we're looking for a 3D artist that can come up with an environment. Oh boy, you have cash out with that one. Oh. As simple as that. Simple. Do you understand? So it's a win-win for everybody. The knowledge of 2D is very important. It's very, very important. Now I do mixture of 2D and 3D. Understand? So if you have been seeing, I think there's particular animation of that one that I did of cars moving on the run. Please, you can go and check that animation because I think it was actually good. But then it was looking like it was hand drawn. But I drew some things, but I didn't draw all of them. At least 55 or 65% of the objects they are actually 3D objects. Has to blow your mind. That's to tell you that the new age is mixing 2D and 3D. Finding the balance between them is mad. Like makes sense a lot, you know. So now the object acts as a container of strokes that you can create using drawing tools in draw mode. So now for more detailed editing, the strokes is done in edit mode and sculpt mode, meaning I don't want to confuse you. So we need to go into Blender. So let's go into Blur Blur. So now guys, you remember the first time when I was teaching about this thing, I was like, when you open Blender, the first thing you see shows you Sorry, give me a minute. So, if you check through all these things, look at what Blender has to give you for you creatives. General, there's 2D animation, there's sculpting, there's VFX, there's editing. Sculpting that is in your normal general, if you open it, is still on its own. VFX that you are seeing all those movies, green screen is here. You can motion track your object, meaning you can bring in a dragon into your video, shoot your video, take it to Blender, bring your dragon, put it inside the video, or shoot your own video separately on green screen so you can take out your this thing and track the movement of the camera and then put you inside a virtual world or vice versa, whether here or there. Video editing. Now that video sequencer appears that video sequencer appears as that video sequencer appears as video editing basically. We're supposed to be having our super team lead, coming today once it's 15 minutes to go. But we've made little changes. So I want to announce the winners tomorrow. Supposed to announce them last week, but um, the process on how I'm supposed to dissipate um, the funds is kind of still giving me a little problem. So basically, we came up with the idea of this last assignment might not really it like of course it goes with the like picking the winners, but we've had people from day one, and that is so much consistency. So let's try to we're trying to reward consistency at least. Even if the money that I'm dropping is small money, I beg you people manage it to. So don't worry, tomorrow when we announce winners, you guys can just um, don't worry. Tomorrow we will sort that out at least. But I know I'll announce the winners tomorrow. So you see, if you look at my recent files, you see the recent project that Mr. have been working. So basically, right? If you open 2D animation, it's the same thing I've been trying to tell you guys that day that what we are doing basically is you are drawing on an empty space. You're not even drawing on a plane. You are not even drawing on a plane. Can you see? If I decide to press this camera to come outside, look, I'm just drawing on an empty space. You can see. And oh God, I really love this thing. And I'm telling you, it's just I don't know why I didn't pursue 2D animation to that level. Because also sometimes we creative work with what we have, and then I didn't have the tool to like the following 2D. So that's why some people use Procreate and all. But so basically, Blender 2D is just drawing in space. That is all. Nothing really difficult or over special among this. So they're telling you now that you see that thing I just drew is strokes, and they said you can do it in draw mode. If you check up here, you see I am in draw mode. Do you see draw mode? Do you see draw mode? Now they're telling you that you can actually in this draw mode, it can come to let me draw again so that we'll see what I'm talking about. Let's say see what I'm going to do. I'll press N and come to tool and scroll down. Zoom tool, brush settings. No, it's not brush. Is it brush settings? Stroke, open stroke. I'm going to open stabilize stroke. So it will steady my strokes, and from 40, I'll take it to 13. Now watch. So now you imagine I was taking maybe an eyebrow. This is an eyebrow, and then the eyes. So this is the eyes. Can you see? This can be edited. So what we're trying to tell you. See editing. If I click here, can you see it's highlighted? Let me zoom in so you know can you see the color is different? I see the color is different. See the only problem that we have with all this 2D, like now this line is supposed to close, if not you suffer. Can you see? And that's its own type of edge. It has its own type of edge and point mode, but it doesn't have face. You know it will not have face now because this is an empty space drawing. It's an empty space, so it is hollow in the center. Someone want to ask me that, okay, how am I doing how am I going to color it? If you color it, it's not going to be a face. Coloring it is just coloring it, but you are not actually like adding a face. So now I'm going to press, okay, that's this thing. Let me show you the sculpt mode. Look at the sculpt mode. For the sculpt mode, here is push that is there, so I can push this one. Can you see? I can, let's zoom out so you can see what I'm saying. Press this thing to increase the area of influence. See, you can see I can push. I'll increase it more. So I can push. Can you see? I've pushed it. This is actually very interesting, guys. Like, it's just so cool. Am I the only one seeing it? And it's so cool, man. It's so cool. So that means that you can even apply, yes, smooth. See, smooth. You can smoothen your drawing. Can you see? Smoothing the edges. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is a software that has 2D animation. Most 2D animations, After Effects, Tone Bone Harmony, what's the other one? Oh, Tone Bone Harmony, After Effects, there's one I'm missing. Tone Bone Harmony, After Effects. I can't remember. Moho, thank you. There's Moho. There's even Adobe Animate now, Character Animate 2, and all these ones now, different apps to make sure they can actually help your 2D animation. You understand? But Blender is doing all these things at the same time. That's the reason why I can join 2D and 3D at the same time. So most of the cartoons you see these days, what they do is that they have that's I mean 2D animations now. Most of the 2D animations you are seeing these days, their backgrounds are actually 3D backgrounds. So they bring in 2D artists to draw. You can still make your background 2D, but it depends if your character is interacting with it. So that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to undo, go to draw mode. You can see with weight, there's also weight too. There's weight paint and vertex paint. Somebody will be like, abeg, this is getting very confusing because when you start to hear weight, there's flipper clip, but flipper clip is not really for, flipper clip is for flipper clip is for people that are just trying to like move into animation, like it's for very small studio, like maybe a personal person is trying to just push content quickly. Example, Judosi's animations, most of them are flipper tape. Very easy. I used flipper tape back in the day. I used my thumb to draw my phone, and then I drew one Kakashi, one anime character, and I just did maybe like wind blowing his hair and him trying to strike an action pose. That was all. That was the least I could do, because imagine drawing over again, painting over again and all. So it's not really easy. So now this is your draw mode, as you can see. Now, in this material, if I come in and press plus and add new material, okay, I see my material. Let me drag it so you see. And let me just say, I want to name it green. For the green, I want the outline of the surface stroke to be black. I want the fill to be the actual green. I clicked green. You can see I opened green. Hope you can see what I'm trying to do. I opened green, come here, come this way, kick out here, take a little brighter green. Now watch what it does. It still uses my stroke as normal stroke, but then if I'm creating any arc, it fills it up. Can you see? Sharp. This is one way to fill. Oh, this is one way to fill. Look at another way to fill now. I can, you see the tools we have fill, we have erase, we have tint, cutter, eyedropper. Then these ones are the different kind of lines you can bring in. If I go to fill, and again your fill doesn't work very I'm not like fill is not very accurate in Blender because I'm not like it's not easy for one software to be doing all these things at the same time. So maybe sometimes they might have bugging issues. So for your precision and dilate and contrast, you need to play with these values very well to make your color cover everything. Can you see this one is covered? Meaning that there's no hole outside. if you use paint, me I used to use paint back then. Look, I used paint back in 2006 when there was no paint 3D. If you check your PCs, most Windows 8 came in with paint 3D. There was no paint 3D back then, and I used it in my school computer. Then I was in secondary school back. Okay, so like I'll go to the library and all those big old computers, and then I would draw with straight lines. Let me just see if I can actually still achieve that, right? So well, it was really funny though. So maybe I can do this and press enter, one line. In case, see, there are different other pens you can actually use here. There's pen, there's rough, there's bold, there's, so let's just use ink pen, so it's kind of bolder. Let me draw the line again, press enter, drag like this, enter, drag like this, enter, drag like this, enter, drag like, because then the 2D animations back there too were kind of easy, so it was almost easy to represent them. I'm just drawing, right? So I'll come here, drag, and it's adjustable. That's why it's line, you know. Enter, then drag like this. But once you press enter, it's a stroke already. You can do like this, enter, drag like this again, enter. Then maybe I can do, because then I also try to draw Tarzan. Now, okay, let me undo for this last stroke. I'll zoom in, and I will drag, oh, sorry, escape. I'll go back to the line. I can create a new material and say I want it to be eye fill, which is white. Eye fill, enter, and we come to fill white for the filling is white. So see what I'll do. Sorry, I was supposed to go back to arcs. I'll come to arc like this. So I can press enter. I think it's colored. Wait, let me go back to green and show you. It's because it's white. Okay, for the fill for the eye white, let's see if we make it red. Can you see it's filled? I just trying to show you. Let's just give him yellow eyes since we're trying to do it for learning purpose. I can come here and come to click green. Green now has stroke activated and fill activated. So it has green eyes back. So I'll just do this. Simple drawing. So basically, this is what I used to draw in paint that time. There's nothing that you can't learn. Even if you say you need to learn how to draw with 2D animation, it's actually possible to learn everything about 2D animation if you're actually passionate about it though. But let me tell you, I think the most expensive people that are still kind of 3D but 2D animation animators too are very, they are highly sought after too. So if you see all those animes like Attack on Titan, or if you know how many, okay, let me just put it like this. I
When
remember, who's trying to talk? Please mute your mics. So if you remember, okay, I had a conversation with somebody and the person was like, okay, let's talk about the genuity and the importance of animation and how, he's kind of, I'm not like Nigeria is kind of country that if anybody sees that you're drawing, like now I used to write back of my notes, get punished by my teachers and all. The problem most of us did back then was we gave into what people actually thought about us, which was really wrong. But it didn't really stop me. So for a lot of, Nigerians only see the authenticity of something if it has proven to be successful, if it has proof of success, if it has proof of, if it can yield profit, if it's something that is profitable in the long run. Imagine dumping engineering for animation. It's a big call, right? Because as an engineer, you can get a lot of money. And I did engineering, right? But I'm just saying, I'm giving as an example. So there's a stereotype. So back in the day, this is not even now that everybody's eyes open to like, wow, okay, this is how good it is. Back in the day, person was arguing that, okay, how good is animation, whether 2D, whether 3D? Now, because of the cost of production, the least, if we go for movies, let's not just go to art, let's not just go to art, because for motion design and art, you can see how very brilliant 2D and 3D animation can make your art go, like boost it, because you don't want to go and carry a camera and start, maybe you're trying to do a Dano milk ad. So you use a camera and shoot it with 70 fps, frame per second, or 90, so you can do slow motion. Then you have to now pour the milk on the cup and do the slow motion, take different angles. All this is, you can do it in Blender in like 1 hour, you are finished. But other one, you go to studio, look for lighting, better light, put your Hollandia here, put your cup here. So are you seeing how the importance of these things, like, can never be overemphasized? Do you understand? For movies, the highest grossing movies for one animation beats most movies. Do you know? Yes, and we checked it back in the day. Even when was it Frozen 2 that came out? Frozen 2 was beating most of the top. Frozen 2 was beating most of the top, like, grossing Hollywood movies in box office. Now it is cost intensive. That is why there is money there. Do you see why there's a lot of money? But then, of course, Nigeria is not really a country that is willing to invest a lot in animation until they will see that yes, it can actually be good. But then, other countries, they have a lot of more risk takers, and that's why they believe that okay, they can pump in like, maybe they can pump in like 20 million US dollars, 100 million US dollars, because if these things yield well in box office, some of them can turn out to some of them get over 500 and something million in profit. Some get over 400 and something. You can imagine the distance from just dropping 80, some just dropping 100 and getting 500, you know. Because from the 100 now, the 100, the director is going to use it to pay the animators, everything. On the long run, the investors still get benefits the most out of it. It's just that whether it makes or not, depending on the contract the artists sign up. But then at the end of the day, oh boy, the artists, their money is usually high. Some of them, they can do per month. Okay, some animators now per year, which is one I know very well. They can get up to 52,000 US dollars. Very senior animator, 72,000 US dollars, US dollars, so 72K. If you can imagine. That's more than seven something million sef now. So you can imagine per month, per year, some per month can get like 4K USD, 5K USD. Intern sef in some kind of jobs are still getting 1.5 USD. So the sky is the limit. So I'm just trying to explain to you how all these are actually important, both from the list 2D to the list 3D. So I was trying to explain how strokes, all these things are strokes. Come to edit mode. Can you see, if I click here now, it's showing as edge. All of them are showing as edge. Where you dropped your pen before you drew the next one is going to be an edge. Now, if you come here to where you are seeing this point, now I can pick in points. Can you see? Picking points and press G to move it. You see why this green is showing is because what I used to draw this line, I use this green that has normal stroke as black and green as fill. If I use my solid stroke, this will not happen. Do you understand? So yeah, you can see, I'll not lie, 2D animation is very sweet. But then the question of which one is better, either 2D or 3D, it's a question that most people have not been able to answer. Because it depends on your style of 2D or your style of 3D. So the guy that did this particular animation, I think he won kind of like a grant from the normal Blender Foundation, and he used Chris Pencil, and he did okay, let me present it. So this particular one I used as the intro, as you're seeing as strokes and all. He just did normal animation, short film of like 3 minutes, and they were happy with it. And most times Blender can push their very good people. Hope you've done the attendance, please guys. Hope you've like signed on the attendance. Please try and sign on it this time. So yeah, and so edit mode. this drawing you are seeing here can be sculpted. That's maybe you smooth it, you move the edges, you create maybe noise effect on your drawing. So imagine you could draw and you could add effects to your drawing. It's too mad. It's too good. It's too good. There's nothing anybody will tell me. You know. So you can even use Blender only just for storyboarding. Like now, maybe they bring you in yeah, with a lot of 2D animators. You can show your power now by doing storyboarding. And guess what? Storyboarding does not mean your drawing needs to be fine. No, don't forget. So yeah, it's not very old animation. I don't know if maybe I'm going to present it in the next class so you can see it, but it was a very funny animation. It's on my Instagram. I don't think I ever posted it on X because back then I used to really be. I decided to use 3 months to. I've dropped the attendance now, like since like 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago. School up now. Or did you go off? So I used 3 months to let me just dwell in it again because most times I always go in and out of 2D animation since I love it, you know. So now for use light, you're telling that you can actually add light to your drawing. This is a drawing, it's not a 3D anything. Meaning if you turn to the back, you see it as a drawing. It's a drawing with feel. You can actually add light to it. That is really amazing. Let me see if I can drop the attendance again. Use it. Yeah. So now if you go to your layers, you will see where you can actually enable a lot of things. A lot of things like I don't know if you really get what I'm trying to say. Imagine your drawing can like now, you know the way um I did the character of the eyebrow green. Imagine I can the light I have in 3D can affect it in 2D, which is just drawing. That's amazing. That's actually amazing. Makes sense a lot, you know. So there's a lot of power in Blender. There's a lot. And that's why everybody, even people that normal studios that use Mo and use and Tunbun Harmony and use After Effects. Okay, do you know that Maya, that is the industry accepted 3D animation software, doesn't have any this thing for 2D, but of course it has where you can annotate like drawings, but it's not as good as 2D, like Blender 2D. Like see Blender 2D, if I come to like if you go to draw mode, you can see all your tools and layers, which is really interesting. So now, as I said, the grid spacer object has three main basic components. I'm going to stop here. I don't want this thing to cut me. So you see that time I was trying to explain to you that strokes, edit lines, and points, edit lines, and strokes. What I'm calling the edit lines like edge now, because since we've treated edge first, so it's the easiest way to explain it to you. You know, but we're going to stop here. You know, it's not really a heavy topic, you know, but then please you can take screenshots of our class, just post it on X that we're doing 2D now, and let me look for a good one to post. Maybe this introduction to grease pencil, maybe this one, you know. Let's pepper them, let's pepper them. If you have not taken screenshots, I'm going to wait 30 seconds, take your screenshots, and just, you know, and just take it to X, take it to X, take it to X. Don't forget to, you're also publicizing yourself. Eh? So as you're dropping your progress in the group, to drop it on X, tag me, tag Superteam, and tag our design lead. Very important because our bootcamp has said, say cheese. Cool. But then, of course, I'm also grateful to have wonderful people like you. I'm telling you, like you guys, because this teaching will not be good without the brilliance and the and the the dedication of you guys, all of you. You guys are like my major attendees, and don't forget, I think collaboration is also very important in life, and it's nice to actually meet you people, really nice. So so we can keep helping each other in the future, keep sending in jobs. So I guess we've taken our screenshots. Our class is ending in like 2 minutes. My life, my life. So please make sure you've marked the attendance. So very important, very, very important. I want to quickly show you guys something. So it's something I used to do that time. So now, if you go to object data properties, these are the layers, meaning I can lock this one, toggle the visibility out. I'll press 0 on the number to enter camera view. And I can create new and create this one rough, ROUGH, watch. And I'm using a pen, I'm using a like a graphics tablet. Just normal the blank one. It's not the one that shows the screen. I'll get the one that shows the screen later though. It's not easy. Those things are kind of expensive. I got it like for 50 something dollars that time. So so now I can make this one rough and draw, and I'll make it normal pencil. I can even make it pencil soft. Click here, come to pencil soft, and just do this, and maybe the thing is supposed to be about somebody supposed to cry. Maybe that's all. Maybe I'll just pick the headline. And I can drop the opacity and create another one. Lock this rough and put line at, and just draw on top. Sorry, come to ink and draw on top. So can you see? Sorry, I'll come to name material. So guys, this is 2D animation for you. See you on Wednesday. God bless you. Thank you for attending today's class. It means world to me. Have a nice night. Please don't forget to go on X.